Hi everyone, my name is Lachlan James, and today I'm going to be reflecting on my experience within the PACE unit this semester, but more specifically my time in my team for the Assessment 1 and Assessment 2, the situational analysis and the recommendation presentation. But to give you guys a bit of context, our team's objective was to improve ThinkWink's engagement with the Gen Z demographic through their client loyalty programs. My team was formed by Quinn, Charlotte, Chi, and myself. Each of us had different responsibilities and each of us had to do different research on 4 phases. For me personally, my responsibility was looking after the supply side research, which contributed to the 4-part situational analysis. Following the completion of the situational analysis, our team began consolidating our recommendations and basically working out the mechanics and implementing blue ocean strategies and for our recommendations. In relation to our teamwork dynamics, I think our team actually worked really well together. I think we naturally had a good cohesion from the start of the semester all the way to the end, and I think it was because of some really good ethical behaviors in our team. We were all very trusting of each other. We were all very accountable on if we set a deadline, we would make sure we all followed it. But I think it was also, like most teams do, they endure Bruce Tuckman's 1965 framework. In the beginning, when we formed, we basically had no idea what we were doing, and I think kind of lack of clarity of roles and kind of different ideas on how we kind of would do the assessment, like limited productivity. However, then as we progressed through Bruce Tuckman's framework, you can kind of see that we were starting to work more efficiently. And I think it was because we had these ethical behaviors where we could kind of communicate honestly with each other, and kind of like communicate which idea was better and how we should do the assessment task. And I think overall it was a pretty good group. While we did have some challenges, I think if I look at it broadly, I think we did pretty well. I think a big reason to our success was our collaboration tools, which was through Google Docs, digital tools such as Google Docs, social media chats, or even meeting up casually in the library for our presentation practice. In relation to ethical considerations, I think this is more of a 2-part answer. I guess we had ethical considerations for the project and as well as the team dynamics. For the project, I guess we kind of focused on transparency within our loyalty program, in our ecosystem, as well as the proprietary app for the W Cosmetics brand, which was an example brand we were utilizing to demonstrate to ThinkWink, to better communicate to Gen Z customers. I guess for the team though, we kind of made sure that we had a utilitarianism approach, where we basically had to listen to different perspectives, compare ideas, and I guess choose a recommendation that would provide the greatest value to ThinkWink. I think when we kind of went down this approach, we kind of minimized our conflicts, and I think if we did have a conflict, it basically we kind of got mitigated, because we kind of like understood that if someone couldn't make a meeting, we were very understanding that everyone has a different a life outside of that class. They have other classes they go to, so we kind of made sure that we kind of could balance those competing priorities by making sure we're very honest with each other and kind of being very, I guess, transparent with ourselves if we couldn't be able to do anything. The interrelationship between teamwork and ethics, specifically in our group, I think all team members upheld a pretty strong ethical behavior, and I think that was by showcasing their respect, accountability, and as well as their honesty when completing the task. If a group member couldn't do a task by a certain deadline or whatever the task we kind of decided that week or whatever, basically we're kind of very honest with each other and we're kind of very understanding, and we kind of worked it around that. And I think a big reason to why we had success and performed as a team was because of the virtue ethics that we all demonstrated. I think overall ethical standards, specifically to me, I think I upheld my end of the bargain. I respected everyone's ideas and I was accountable for my work, and as well as making sure that I was fair in how we delegated all the responsibilities. And now that we've completed the PACE unit, I think there's so many things I'd like to take on with me for the next stage of my career. I think more importantly in team environments and I guess with ethical leadership, it's more important that you uphold your ethical behaviors despite the team you're in. And for me, that's making sure that I'm honest, accountable, and respectful no matter the opinion. And I think that's why it's so important to have a really strong emotional intelligence, because it means you can manage those conflicting ideas so that you don't offend, or I guess making sure that you're not impacting your own perspectives. And I guess for me, that is the most critical thing I would like to take out of this, my time at Macquarie University. And I guess that's something I'd like to really implement in my future behaviour. Thank you for your time today.